Listen up, conspiracy theorists. You're here with the Blue Collar Conspiracy Boys. I'm Tim Sizzle with my longtime co-conspirator, Eli Enns.
Yo.
We've got our first show under our belt. We're looking to get another one going. We're going to talk about what made our boy Eli here a right-winger. You wouldn't know it from looking at him, but he's got pretty conservative values. He's a rocker. He's an artist. He was voted the hippie at heart in high school. And yet here we are talking about conspiracy theorists and right-wing and anti-left and the whole thing. Wow. So let's get right into it.
I forgot about that.
So, Eli,
hippie boy,
despite all those characteristics,
accusations.
Yeah, exactly. What made you a right wing or conservative?
Again, I don't know. I've never been asked that, so let me just lay it to you straight up. If I had to find the root cause, it's just my family. We've held our values as a family. Both my mom's side and my father's side served in the service. They're spiritual people. If you grow up in a scenario like that, you're accountable for your actions and things you say and do. A lot of people, other families are loose. And you served in every war since we moved here in the 1600s and before that. It goes back, but it's just, I've never thought of myself as right wing or left wing. There's right and there's wrong.
Sure.
And it wasn't until the last 4 or 5 years I started honing in, and every year after 2020 I started paying close attention to the details. And so I guess I've always been, I just didn't know it. And in this day and age, it's like, you know, to be into being an American and supporting your America and supporting your God or whatever your spiritual belief is, that's like frowned upon now. And again, it goes back to like, you know, what I'm seeing in the culture today. Kids want to be cool. If it's cool to not believe in a God or believe in your flag, that's where things seem to be heading. And I guess it's more, you can be more punk than to believe in God and your country now. So I guess I'm always going against the grain, but those are true values I've always had in my heart.
Great. I totally get it. And that's a great take, thinking of the right wing now as being punk rock, whereas that was always the left. The liberals were the out there ones, the experimentals. But now it's kind of our side.
Flipped upside down. If you were a kid in the 80s, let's say early 80s, and you're into metal, goth, or punk, and you dyed your hair green or black with makeup on, you got a shock value from everybody walking down the street. And you got shit on. And you absorbed all that and reprojected it out in a therapeutic, positive way through your music and your art and such. People are just offended now. And if kids are dyeing their hair and wearing makeup, like that doesn't shock me or anybody else because it's like outdated. That's why I think they've had to advert to other concepts like protesting for things they don't even understand. I mean, I can get engaged in a conversation with almost anybody, but I look at one side being factual and the other one deviating from fact.
Yes, one side is definitely willing to kind of argue their side and speak on the subjects, whereas one seems to want to avoid it. They just have their picket signs or their little pamphlet of my body, my choice, or those little taglines. And that's as far as they're willing to go in the discussion. And they'll just keep repeating those phrases over and over. While I think the right is really willing to have open and honest discussions, 3-hour podcasts where they're talking about their values rather than just espousing all the same old crap we've heard since the 60s.
You could take, if a Democrat was like, yo, I just want to observe and absorb what it is you guys are doing. Come on in, hang out, and chill out.
Absolutely.
If he took me to one of their things, I'd get swarmed like piranha and attacked.
Yes.
The party of compassion is not, they could give a shit. They backstab, backtrack, and eat their own. And we've seen it done many a time. Now we have Democrats assaulting Democrats now, if you want to see this. But again, it goes down to those values. A guy doesn't even have to declare what he is. He just walks up to one and be like, why do you hate Trump?
What, really? Do I really have to explain
Trump?
it?
Do I have...
Fascism? Hello?
I got too many things to say. Name one of them.
Name one. That is absolute venom to a liberal or a lot of time a
paralysis.
Woman. Yeah.
Well, not paralysis because they run away.
Name one thing.
They act. They're horrible actors. They act, lie, assault you, and then walk away and retreat like cowards. Just hold a conversation. If you can't, it's like me trying to talk about aliens. I don't know every galaxy. I don't know, but it's an interest. That's why you're talking about it, to engage in a conversation. You don't have to, I'm not asking you to worship God. I'm not asking you to believe. Entertainment TV, I haven't had cable for 20 years, and I could name 100 reasons why. But reality TV isn't real. If this is so fake, at least it's entertaining to me. I wouldn't want to call religion entertaining. You know, a Bible can be manipulated, written by a man, because I don't trust man.
Yes.
And politics, gosh, if you go back 20 years, things have been manipulated.
Absolutely.
Something can't be thousands of years old and be a lie. It'd be fake. And, you know, and another thing, when you see people really hating on other people and sticking up for their own party, the Democrats were the root cause for slavery. They were under their leadership. I mean, the Republicans, they fought to abolish that stuff. Because there's right and no wrong.
Democrats were obviously the party of the KKK. Lincoln was clearly a Republican.
Right.
Those terms have kind of changed now,
Right.
but at the heart of it, those were conservative values. And the left has kind of taken over the part of big business. They claim to hate the billionaires, but they own all the media corporations. They control the pharmaceutical businesses. They control the banks. So who's really the party of billionaires and big business? It's kind of laughable that that's who their targets are.
And they lie all the time too, because it's like, I'm not basing it. If you look at stats, who voted for you? I can name numbers. I could name dollars in your bank account, and how did you get those dollars? They're bought out. They're slaves in a way, because they work for something else. You don't have your own voice. And over time, we've seen what happened to people who invent something that would benefit environments, do something to benefit politics and the people they're supposed to serve, and they're wiped out.
Yes.
I think that's been an ongoing pattern we've seen. But with technology these days, that's really hard. You know, man, how many aides for Hillary can they kill?
Exactly.
That committed suicide.
2 bullets in the back of the head, a suicide.
I wanted to reload the shotgun because when I shot myself,
yes,
I could do one more.
Might as well, just to get the job done.
It's like Kurt Cobain dying with enough heroin to kill an elephant. Like he
really did that.
Yeah, great, cool. Right.
So on that point, it's kind of unfortunate that we have to define ourselves by the left or the right, liberal or conservative. But in America, we have a 2-party system, and these 2 parties are at odds nonstop now. So we kind of have to define these things. Right. So how would you kind of define the right and or the left?
The right is all about, again, like if they're going to, let's say this last year and a half, they advocated for Elon. They projected, and like, Elon's got a bill that's costing this million billions of dollars, which Biden put in.
Yes.
As it exists, they're saying Trump allowed this, and Trump actually excluded a lot of Elon from those politics. Yes, he bought one, or again, the ongoing process, but when you see them advocating for hate as they do, it was like overnight, Biden to Kamala. Overnight, it was Trump. Now Elon just got dished all this hatred. When Tesla's down 71% in 3 months, that's a big chunk. Now, what happened? Is it Doge? Is them exposing all these people? Like, you know, like Cash on the Senate. He's trying to become the new FBI. We wanted that. And he promoted for the people and cleaning up that branch. But again, anybody who's doing something good is attacked.
Yes.
And my conservative values, it's changed in politics, and I wouldn't know. I could name a few things when and where, but in this day and age, it's just insane because they go off facts. And gosh, look, watch the news. If Trump were to give everyone in a specific community or all communities $1 million cash in a suitcase left on your front doorstep, CNN will still say something to warp it, like a text. You don't know someone's tone. You can make a positive gesture in kind regard as a threat.
Totally.
So they'd be like, Trump gives people dollars because of this. And like, you know, they're allowed to lie and things. And I think some people just are afraid to go outside the box. And as an artist, you have to.
You have to.
And I stepped out of my own self. A judge, if we're in a courtroom, I'm not anybody. I'm not believing them or them. But if you can't convict this criminal, he's free to go.
Totally.
That's your job.
There's a burden of proof.
These cops can break. I love cops, but there are some really bad. That's another podcast for another time. But like, they break the law to do their job. The more people find out their own rights, you can deviate from a lot of their psychology that they do. Answering one question leads to 20 others.
Yes.
And now you're basically giving them permission to do an investigation when they're servants. They're here to serve and protect, not be the judge and jury and executioners we're seeing. But again, those are different. About deviating off the question, I just see a lot of different things happening that don't make sense to me, and they're all based off lies. And weak-minded people just heard you say that, and they go project that hypothesis you just created, and as if it's like a fact.
Yeah.
They don't have any science. They don't base anything off. It's all emotion to them.
All emotion. It's so emotion based. That's why when you kind of start bringing facts and kind of peel back the first layer of emotion that they're expressing, there's nothing left. There's no real thought process. There's no thinking there. It's just that first emotional outburst they have is as far as they're willing to go in the discussion.
Overreactions, and they're synthetic. They're like mannequins to me. There's nothing there. If you stood next to somebody, again, I've had conversations with, I want to think they're people. I've had 30 seconds conversations with people, and like turn around, they're gone.
Yes.
And the conversation was so engaging and meaningful at that time in my life. It could have been an alien or an angel, which I think are the same.
Totally, I agree.
And I know people 30, 40 years, and they're still tired horse shit to me. I love them too, but like, that's when you know you love somebody, is when you hate them, talk shit too. But anyways, and then you stand next to someone and like, that person had no spirit or soul. You get this vibe. It's a poker read to me, because like, I don't care. If you want to talk about politics, we can talk about politics. That and religion are the two most offensive things to bring up around certain people, and I understand why, because nobody knows the facts.
Totally.
I'm going to die one day, and you're going to die too. Nobody knows what's going to happen.
I find it so strange that those are the off-topic things, that it's not.
That should be the number one.
Exactly. It's gauche to talk about religion and politics, and finances is third. Where we're so financially illiterate in this country, I think if we kind of opened up ourselves to be able to discuss this and discuss what real dollars, what people make, what things actually cost, I think it would train the young ones to really understand what they're getting into in this economy.
Culture don't know shit these days. I don't want. My niece and nephew they can tell you about music and athletes in the 90s. That's a nostalgic plus to me, too.
Of course.
Who we are and where we're from. But two, I got a little conversation with someone on the left, and it's just like, my body. I'm like, you're a certain age. Are you planning on having kids anyway? Like, if this happened. But two, it's a commitment people make. If you don't want to make that commitment or something unfortunate happened to you, then talk about it. Don't reflect off as it happened with abortion and such like that. But two, it's like, it's really difficult to get into, because, they're like, prayer in school. You're looking at it through another angle. What if I use the term meditation?
Totally.
It's the same thing to me. Well, I'm not praying to a white man in the beard on a cloud judging everybody.
Who is?
God is a essence too. It's within all of us.
It's everything. It's every
everything.
Cloud, every
we were made in the image
of grass,
of God.
Every cell. That's where God resides.
And it's too, because we're controlled. Media, the medical, pharmaceutical, politics, and education. It's like goes back to Rockefeller, Morgan, and they don't want thinkers, they want workers.
Yes, that's a great point. That's building on what I was talking about earlier, to where those subjects are intentionally held down. They really don't want us to discuss those things. They don't want us to be educated on finance, religion, and politics. They kind of want us stupid so they can control us.
Yeah, if a slave came up to an owner and said, like, how do I run my own farm? You get whipped.
Totally. Yeah. You're fighting their power.
Yeah, if you want to ask a cop why they're asking you how to do their job or something, or how can I become my own. And what they do with COVID, they were shut down. I'd take a fine over shutting down my business.
Absolutely.
Anytime.
My business did spectacularly during COVID. It was a perfect storm for the type of business that I have. But I said day one, I would give it all back to shut down COVID and all the shutdowns, put people back to work. Those shutdowns were great to me. But politically, I thought it was an absolute joke. And I would gladly give all that money back to go back in time and stop those stupid ass shutdowns.
I wish I could go back to that time and COVID didn't exist.
Exactly.
Where people were when the world's suffering, I was doing great.
Yes.
So for that brief period of time, it seemed longer than that. But paintings, art, and records. And I was killing it because people were home a lot.
Yeah. People were getting stimulus checks. They were sitting at home all day looking for nostalgic crapola and buying memorabilia left and right. I remember all the video games, the records, the
animals,
CDs. It all went overboard.
And, when the world's doing great, I'm getting crushed. So that's the other 90% of my life. But,
Sure.
You want to talk to me as an artist and where I'm at? Maybe that's been a part of my difficulty because, try to find a job where you experience the interviewer, and that goes to their point of view because they judge too. They're putting politics into that interview. This guy's taller than me. He has more hair than me. He's skinnier than I am. And other qualities I won't get into, but and I'm white. That's the fucking devil.
Yeah, white male. Don't even approach. You're at the bottom of the list.
I'm 6'2". I'm single. I'm straight, and I'm unvaxxed. You're the fucking devil.
The demon trifecta.
Yeah, exactly. I remember being in an interview with this aerospace company. They make gold plates to put on rovers on Mars. And halfway through the interview, they brought up the vax thing. I'm like, wouldn't you have done that before this? And I mentioned I was unvaxxed. And the owner was like, if you're not vaxxed, this interview's over. God, I've walked out.
Vaxxed for what? It did not prevent COVID.
Yeah.
What are we talking about here?
My brother got the vax so he could not wear a mask at bartending.
Totally.
And the week later, he had to wear the mask. And you know why? Because we live in California, and Newsom and Pelosi are related and mandated masks because they had a mask company.
Sure. Makes complete sense.
That's like making "We Will Never Forget" bumper stickers and then crash a plane into a building. That sticker made more than the war.
Yeah, never let a good crisis go to waste. That's a classic political claim.
And again, these are all topics you bring it up, someone's going to get very offended and insult you and walk away without talking about it.
Now back to the original point of the right and the left. To me, it's as simple as the right is small government, the left is big government. The left thinks the government can help, the right thinks the government impedes them.
Right. And to go back to my thing, there's the right and there's the wrong.
The wrong.
It's not, I could pick any community. White, I don't care. I like them and I don't like them.
Of course.
It's good people and there's shit people too. But when it comes to, I say this, this is what I typically say when somebody asks me that. All the tentacles lead to the same octopus, like some propaganda war. It's like, the Nazis are taking over the planet as an octopus. It's an image to me.
Yeah, spectacular.
Whatever puppets are on the end of the tentacles, again, I don't think anybody's running anything. You got to listen to somebody. I think Trump's the most organic person because he's not a political person.
Totally.
He's not funded or owned. And two, he's touching on sensitive areas.
Yeah, he's not bought and sold.
Corruption.
He does not need outside money to run his campaign. He does not need outside money to influence his decisions.
Bill Maher, Larry David, all these shit talkers, they have dinner. And I think Larry was quoted. He's like, that Hitler guy wasn't exactly that Hitler guy but he still had to call him that.
Yes.
Bill Maher kind of flipped. But two, it's like, how do you bring down a team? You become a player.
Yeah.
Pedophiles have infiltrated Boy Scouts. Communists have infiltrated our Senate. You got more people in the Senate advocating for Somalia and shit countries that don't like Americans. And we call them terrorists. I call them Democrats. There are people that don't like America.
Yes.
Except they're working for it now.
And now they're advocating for MS-13 and calling white MAGA guys the real demons.
Jesus
that
Christ.
Is absolute insanity.
They want to go fly to El Salvador on our dime.
Yes. We're the problem, but the people bringing in fentanyl, putting people in acid baths, people that destroyed El Salvador and every country on the way up here are the people we're defending now. Where do you get that idea?
We'll go turn on a TV in Italy. Go turn one on in Mexico. They're not going to candy coat shit. Like, there's shit going down in the world, and what do you do when you turn on the news? Local man saves cat from tree.
Exactly.
I want to go to Mexico. There's a fucking rocket launcher on a dude's shoulder taking down the Feddies.
Yep.
The helicopter. They're in constant battles, but that's reality. I want to get... I missed church as a kid. It was scary.
Sure.
There's a life-size crucifix of Christ with blood coming out of his eyes. The elders are in cloaks. They're going to go see him. You go to church now, it's like, hey, God, hey, Jesus, have you seen? I'm not talking shit, but I like that reminder that life's violent.
It requires sacrifice. That's the important part about the Christ story. It requires, life requires sacrifice. But if you want to reach the Holy Land, you got to give something up.
Dude, you can't take money with you.
Totally.
People are so greedy and material girls. What you can do is charge your spiritual battery. That's what takes you to whatever you're supposed to do.
And that's what they don't want you. That's why they don't want you discussing religion. That's why they don't want you discussing politics. They don't want a recharged spiritual battery.
And China's running our social media.
Beat down.
If you look at China, what they do before school, they meditate.
Yes.
They get into some fight exercise. They breathing exercise. They program their brain and body to work as one. You got a computer. I don't know, a computer. You got two parts that work.
You got a machine.
You got a machine, and they work together. It's like your gut. I wake up. I take those shots every morning.
Yeah.
I might not take ivermectin every morning, but I do my apple cider vinegar, ginger, garlic, turmeric.
How dare you?
Lemon, cayenne.
You should be on Ozempic.
I should look like a zombie.
Yeah, you should be sucked in.
And I don't.
You should be on Prozac. You should be minded out.
Oh, you know what they did? I saw a little thing, sister.
Okay,
twins. Yeah. They're looking buttery. Then they showed the Olsen twins.
Yeah.
They look like the midgets from Wizard of Oz. Like they're wrinkled, if they're still alive.
Barely.
Small, shrunken, wrinkled, dead.
They're clones at this point.
Yeah, that's terrible. But sister is buttery, and I'm like, well, they didn't do fucking tweak.
Tia and Tamara.
Yeah. Yeah, that's her name. Good one.
So that's one of our kind of short form interviews. One of our questions, one of our short form topics we get into. We'll do short form. We'll do long form. I think that's a great intro to kind of who we are and where our political beliefs come from.
We all know I have my own interests. I could dissect everything to a denominator. But a few years ago, as I collect records, I went to an estate sale. I got there early, where a few of us. Before the liquidators got there, this older gal had let us in, and that's like letting a robber into a bank.
Sure, yeah, of course.
So I stashed a bunch of shit, a lot of sealed albums, Coltrane. But I got this 3-volume set from 1965, 66 of Myron Fasion, and it's exposing the Illuminati and the CRC.
Yeah, that's great.
And at this time, the only one I could find for sale was on Discogs or something, and it had a knife going through it.
Oh wow!
A mark, so you couldn't listen to it.
Yeah.
Now you got YouTube, and you can find Myron Fasion exposing, and it crushes it. Their agenda was set up hundreds of years ago.
Yes.
I don't want to get into the parties that be, but I'll tell you this: put it on YouTube. There's 3 volumes. He names names. He's like, when you enter Ellis Island, you're whoever you say you are.
Mm-hmm.
And you can change your name, but you can't change your bloodline. And that's the big conspiracy now with those swabs during COVID. And BlackRock bought Ancestry.com.
Yes, classic.
They're not trying to figure out if you're sick or not. No. They want to know if your family fucked over their family.
Classic data mining.
All that shit. So that's what's fun to me. But Myron Fasion is fact.
Great. Well, that's a topic for another one. Maybe we'll listen through that record and break that down for you.
Mine are sealed. I'm about to crack them open because I never want to get rid of them.
Might have to break open the archives.
We'll open them in front of you and play them in a large volume set. But if you can't get any more factual than this,
that's information we should all be privy to, and I'll be glad to be some of the ones that bring it to you.
It happens.
Thanks, folks. We'll be back.
Bye.